Hey guys, welcome back to the REVan channel. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow our audience. We're trying to bring the Ford content to the masses, and I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. I'm with my man Brian Wolfe, and the first thing you saw in this video is a silver Mustang with twin turbos but no motor. Brian, what's going on?
Yeah, so what we're doing with that is the original plan was that was cars built with the stick shift, the stock engine that came behind the 464 valve, but we knew we had to upgrade it. So we just got recently our power by the hour 6R 80 transmission with all the good parts in it. We also got the square D torque converter along with US shift controller. So the plan was we knew after PRI, which is quite a while ago, we had to pull that out, upgrade to the automatic. However, since then we've learned a few things on reliability. And that's what why the motor's out and upside down looking like this. So first thing we learned is from our good friend Bob with the Godzilla car was he had an issue with the stock lifters, with the boosted engine, with a fairly aggressive hydraulic roller where he wiped out the roller lifters. Right. And then we were updating a customer car who had a similar combination, Pro Charger, same cylinder head, same stock lifters, and we asked Nick to come back and let us update to the Johnson lifters, tie bar lifters, that have been proven in the LS family for a long time. Right. When we took Nick's apart, we also saw that the rollers were starting to brunel. So this was a clear red flag that anybody running boost engine with that fairly aggressive hydraulic roller, the stock lifters aren't going to cut it.
And so, you know, you might be wondering, wow, failures. I thought these things were durable, but this is an engine that's really only been out for 2 years. It doesn't have a decade or 2 decades of history. And now we're taking them and pushing them to the limit, whether it's NA, supercharged. So these are things that are going to happen. You have to find the weak points. But that's what's fun about doing this R&D, because we get to make stuff better.
Absolutely. And again, the nice thing about this was Johnson makes a super high quality lifter. They've been put in LS's for a long time. And because both the Gen 3 Hemi, the LS, and now the Godzilla all have the same diameter lifters, those were already readily available on the market. With the stock tie bar that they used on the LS, that also had enough play in it to allow it to drop right into the Godzilla. Right. The last thing we had to confirm was there's a little groove that goes around that lifter that supplies oil throughout the travel range. We got to make sure that it always has oil supply, and that when it's on the base circle, it doesn't come out the bottom of the bore and have a direct leak path. Likewise, when it's at the top of the lift, it doesn't have that. So we proved all that stuff. Stock off-the-shelf lifter drops in, works great. So we're updating the motor with that. Second failure mode that we found was, again, our same customer Nick with the Fox body with the Pro Charger on it. His first time out with the car, he went 520s to the 8th, which is pretty good, 120/60 foot time. Right. The downside of that is we learned a new failure mode, that with the 417 Motorsport pan, which we believed with the wide ears on it and the extra oil would have enough oil remaining in the sump under those hard accelerations. We were wrong on that. And Nick only had 38 pounds of oil pressure at 7,200. We ended up having a failure mainly on the front cam bearing and the thrust of the cam. So we're updating Nick's motor now. We're putting that Indy Power Products pan on Nick's motor. He didn't want to do the R&D. He wanted something that was proven. We knew the Indy Power Products pan would work. However, what we are doing on the Silver Twin Turbo car is we're working on a baffling system for the 417 Motorsport pan to keep a sump cover on it and a little bit more baffling. And Evan, as you pointed out earlier before we talked about this video, possibly taking this stock location and the stock pickup and replacing it with one that looks much like Jim Ryder's Indy Power Products pickup, and kind of moving that more towards the back of the pan for even added robustness along with the sump cover. We're not done with that yet, but we're working on that closely.